Direct from the Six, world-renowned, Canada's largest city, with Canada's biggest thinkers, visionaries, and hustlers. This is Startup Talk, featuring the founders, funders, innovators, and community leaders who've led Canada's startup ecosystem right here in Toronto. You'll hear the challenges, the failures, the successes. Toronto's Startup Podcast gives you the full story direct from the entrepreneurs and influencers who've made a difference. Now, the host of Startup Talk, the founder of TorontoStarts, the Startup Coach.
How should startups navigate the complexity of securities regulation if they plan to go public in the future?
Oh, so I would not recommend going public on your own. Pretty much every public transaction involves not only legal counsel, but also an investment bank, certainly when you get larger. One of the things that sometimes kind of gets overlooked a little bit is people think that you want to go public as quickly as you can, because as soon as you go public, now your shares are trading. You can have some liquidity for yourself as a founder. You can have liquidity for the investors who invested. That's all great. That can be the case. But what you want to also keep in mind is as soon as you go public, people can now engage in secondary trading of your shares, of which you have no control over anymore. And so I like to compare it to the McRib from McDonald's or pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks. When your company is smaller, if you're maintaining control over when the shares can be bought or sold, one, two, that they're always being bought or sold from you as the company, and three, you can set the valuation at the time that it takes place. It puts you in a much better control position, and you can build excitement for that future moment when it becomes available for investment. The McRib and the pumpkin spice latte are only available for limited times each year. What that does is it helps build up demand and excitement from the consumer. You could have a pumpkin spice latte all the time. Maybe you'd have one or two in the fall, but you wouldn't feel the desire to have one on September 15th as strongly as you would if they were only available from September 1st to December 10th or whenever they stop being available. Same with the McRib, right? It's only available a few times a year. People get very excited. They are wanting and waiting for the opportunity to be able to have one. If your company is always trading, then it's as if it's never trading. There's never that moment of excitement, and you can't control and set the price. People are going to buy and sell, and if some random investor really needs to get out, they can just lower their price further and further and further down to try to find a buyer, which can tank your whole stock. So going public is a very, very useful tool. I typically recommend saving it for a larger and later stage business rather than saying, what's the soonest we can go public? And then kind of getting stuck in this kind of quagmire of micro public companies where you're public, but there's not necessarily a ton of interest in what your business is doing.
So I want to say thank you, Alex, for taking the time. You want to tell us again what you and Equivesto do and what are all the resources over there that Equivesto people should go check out?
Yeah, absolutely. So Equivesto is an exempt market dealer and an online investment portal for Canadian small businesses, startups, private funds looking to raise capital from Canadian resident investors. So if you are looking to do an angel round and you want a place where somebody's done a bit of due diligence into you already, they'd help you structure your whole round, plan out the valuation, got all the right legal documents, and they provide a digital location for you to actually go ahead and transact. Certainly come check out what we're doing at equivesto.com. We also have a really robust learning center. So a ton of what we talked about here already is in our learning center. We also have a bunch of courses for free in our learning center on investor readiness. What are investors looking for from you? All this sort of information is there. It's totally free. A lot of it is webinars that we created with Craig. So feel free to go and consume some of that information. We want to try to help make capital raising easier and more rewarding for all Canadian companies.
This has been Startup Talk, Toronto's startup podcast. For more exclusive content, the episode vault, and to be part of TorontoStarts community, visit TorontoStarts.com. Get your name on the newsletter mailing list and check out our upcoming events. For more episodes, subscribe now. And please recognize the time and work behind the scenes put into connecting you with the biggest visionaries, entrepreneurs, and innovators in Toronto by leaving a 5-star review. Join us for more next episode from Toronto's most active entrepreneur and startup community on Startup Talk.